On your mark, get set, and welcome to I Need a Hobby, a podcast. I'm this week's host, Alex, and to my left, he told me he was signing up for the local pub's triathlon, but really, he just swam across the bar, ran to the bathroom, and then tried to bike home. Chris.
Hey.
And to my right,
That's a good one.
he's on his way to attempting to set a world record, fastest marathon, while solving and juggling 3 Rubik's Cubes. Andrew.
Hello.
All right. So what's this podcast about, guys? This is I Need a Hobby. It's a podcast about challenges, hobbies, and activities. Every week, us 3 fellas, we do one of those, and then we talk to you guys about it. Yeah, we work hard during the 9 to 5, but this podcast is all about focusing on the real time to shine, the 5 to 9. What do you guys think?
Best time of the day, huh?
It is the best time of the day.
We don't say it enough.
I would argue that it's by far the best time of the day. Like,
I guess if you're going head to head 5 to 9 versus 9
versus
to 5.
9 to 5, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also feel like we do this for a living to an extent.
The what? The 9 to 5?
No, the 5 to 9.
Oh, the 5 to 9. We do not. We are far from doing this for a living. Don't tell our listeners that we're doing this for a living.
You're making it sound like we're on the side of the road with these microphones.
Yeah.
You make it sound like we have a
I'm
very
just saying
successful
that
podcast.
we care more about the 5 to 9 than anyone else.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Our
That's
microphones are plugged into our box.
True.
That
If
we live in.
anyone should get paid for the 5 to 9, it's us.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'll take a firm stance on that.
You want to just plug your Venmo real quick? Maybe
Yeah.
we can split it.
Venmo me at the real Donald Trump. Actually, don't Venmo that.
Probably doesn't
If you're
make
gonna
more money.
Venmo anyone, it should be anyone but the real Donald Trump.
You think he has a Venmo account? That would be so funny.
Yeah, that'd be so sad.
You just see him like Venmoing, Pence like
That's-
coffee.
it's just like the hamburger emoji.
All
right.
boy.
So what's up with you guys today?
Not much.
Everyone doing all right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're recording a little earlier than we usually
We
do.
got
It's kind of
Thanksgiving
exciting.
break for school, so I'm finally, relaxing.
Yeah, you're off for a few days, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Nice.
Chris,
for
you
the
off yet
week.
from work for
Not
Thanksgiving?
yet. I got one more day. So today's Tuesday. I'm working tomorrow. Then
Chris
Chris
Thursday,
actually
Friday
worked
off.
the 4 to 9 today.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I had a weird
That is
morning
4
shift.
a.m.
I had a weird morning shift today, so I came in early so I could
That
have
is
more
a-
time in the
That's absurd.
podcast.
Like I work early pretty regularly.
Yeah.
But 4 a.m. is
Yeah.
absurd.
It was weird.
Like I almost thought you weren't gonna go to sleep. Did you go to sleep?
Yeah, I put my head on the pillow at around 9 o'clock. I don't know how much I slept,
Wow.
but yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
God you got a little shut eye, my man.
Yeah, I still feel like I didn't nap or anything after, so
You
I'm
didn't?
still kind of
It's
riding
interesting
that
though
high.
because Alex, sometimes you get out early for your job is like sometimes mornings or afternoons, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Chris
Get
is
up
usually
early or get out.
get out of work early.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Chris is usually working the 9 to 5, and I'm
Mhm.
usually at school. It's really like 3 opposite schedules.
Right.
Yeah.
And today we all came together at like
At like
noon.
It was
1,
great.
yeah,
On a weekday.
Wow, what are the odds?
So
Yeah.
weird.
I had something else I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
I warned these guys ahead that
I
I had
know,
to
I'm a little
roast someone in the
nervous.
room.
Yeah.
Who's it going to
Yeah,
be?
I was hoping it would be the roasted Brussels sprouts we're about to be eating
Mm.
for Thanksgiving, but is it Chris?
Yeah, so who's going to be Andrew, Alex, Todd?
I don't
Forgot
know.
about Todd. Yeah, it's probably gonna be him considering he's always in the room. It never makes an
That's
appearance.
true.
Can we make predictions?
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be me for
I'm
sure.
gonna. I think it's gonna be me because I've roasted Chris on pod before.
that's true. That's fair.
Andrew, we roast
Regularly.
very regularly off pod.
That's true.
And on.
I tend to hide from the roast.
So,
but,
so I don't know. What's a good?
maybe I'm
move?
going to roast myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe it's himself.
All right, maybe.
I'm bringing in Alex.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Walked in today. Let's look at what he's wearing. He's
What?
got an Adidas t-shirt, New Balance pants, and Nike shoes. The trifecta.
What's wrong? I'm not a brand loyal man.
I don't know. I just thought it was very interesting. Do you think it's more?
Well, I'm wearing Adidas.
Yeah.
3 stripes, just like the 3 stripes in my hair. Folks at home
They
can't
look
see that I
great.
cut bars into my hair. this
Episode
week.
7 haircuts.
Just like, that'd be cool if I did that though.
That would be sweet.
New Balance because I'm a Boston boy.
True. Boston based.
Nike because I don't know. I hate giving to charity. I don't know.
Do you think it would be worth getting roasted more if you had the 3 brands or if you were all Nike head to toe?
I thought
yeah.
I thought I was accidentally only wearing New Balance, and you were gonna roast me for that because I know I have New Balance shoes, not on now, but I wear them pretty regularly,
Mhm.
and I know these pants are New Balance, and I was pretty nervous when you started addressing my wardrobe. I thought you were gonna get at me for wearing this grout fit.
Mm.
Which
No,
is-
that's fine.
It's
I'm
not
a drought
full
fit
grout
guy.
fit yet, but
I'll wear a drought fit every now and then.
Chris, you wore a grow fit to work today.
Did I?
Well, not essentially, but you scrubbed or whatever.
Oh yeah,
That's like
you
still.
gotta do it.
Wait, is that what you wore to work?
Chris
A grout-
wore this to work.
But a grout fit is all
That's
gray.
not a grout fit. A grout fit is gray.
well,
shirt.
you're not wearing. Gray.
I know, but I figured black is pretty close.
Oh
to
come on!
Yeah.
Well, Chris actually is wearing gray pants.
But
You
That's
called
true.
your outfit.
The
a grout
idea
fit.
of the
hold
grout
on.
fit.
Wait. If anyone's closer to a grout fit right now,
It's
it's
definitely
definitely
Alex.
me. He's wearing blue.
my
I'm
shirt's
wearing
blue.
no colors.
A grout fit is a gray outfit.
I know, I agree, but I
We're-
think that
We're both
Alex
not
is wearing
grout
no
fits.
gray and Chris is
Yeah,
wearing
I
one
am.
article of gray.
My shirt is gray.
I think that's like a green color.
That's gray.
You
And
think
I'd say
this
it's
is green.
yeah.
Wait, this is not green.
that's gray.
I need to get.
I think his pants are equally gray.
Wait, I think Chris. I think.
Oh, you know what's funny? I
Yours
actually
is-
got new contacts, and they actually make you colorblind. It's kind of weird.
Okay.
It's like the opposite of that. So
Man.
All right.
no,
Chris-
just kidding.
Chris is wearing a grout fit.
Yeah. In
He's
your
actually
alternate
wearing a
universe.
outfit. I feel like we need to I think we need to poll the listeners or something.
Is it?
I
Wait,
don't
you
know.
really think
I'm
this is
freaking
green?
out.
Is this like one of
Yeah.
those
I
blue,
think-
blue and?
Are you wearing the
and,
dress?
Yeah, blue and black dress or whatever. it
I was at Savers the other day. It's like a thrift
Let
store.
me stand up more. Come on, Chris.
And I saw that dress.
Did you really?
Yeah. Like
what color did you see it in?
I saw some blue.
All right, Andrew, hold on. I'm
This
standing
is
up.
I thought it was
kinda
weird they were
gray
selling it.
now.
Now I'm a slimy, I'm a gross, grimy, and
That's
slimy
true.
guy. So maybe it's green from.
I
my,
would describe the shirt as slimy.
Maybe it's green from my germs. But I think
Maybe.
I bought it gray.
Okay, but you think that your shirt is more gray than Chris's pants? Because no way.
No, I didn't say that. But I think
The
my
combination of
my pants being black are closer to gray than
Than Chris's
Chris's
blue shirt.
yeah.
is
The
being-
Fair
blue
enough.
outsets your outfit.
The
I
point
think-
is Chris is calling you out for this kind of outfit
Hmm.
when he wore this to work.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know.
that is weird that Chris wore it to work. But you know what? When you wake up at 4 a.m.,
It's
you
true.
can wear
do what
whatever
you
want
want.
to
Totally
work.
makes sense.
I should have
Totally
worn
makes
Oh,
like
I know. When you get to work at 4, not even waking up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you get to work
It's up
at
at
4
3:15. I should have worn a like one of those night robes, you know, like, with
Like
like
a-
a sleeping
like a
cap.
long-
Yeah,
long
like
cap.
I would love to have one of those.
You look like freaking Scrooge.
Yeah. Just me, like, I don't know. I'm picturing myself making that, drinking like a warm glass of milk before bed.
You look like Mr. Burns. For God's sakes.
All right.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take a picture of your shirt, Alex. We can throw it up.
yeah,
on the
take a
Instagram.
picture of my shirt too.
I think
say
you should
say
take a
whose shirt
picture
is
of
more
me
gray.
and Chris and say who's
wearing the grout
closer
fit.
to a grout fit.
Because you're. I do agree on that part that neither of you are wearing a grout fit.
Hit us
Yeah,
with
that's
the
true.
with the hashtag groutfit or hashtag outfit if you
Yeah,
think it's
that's
just a
good.
normal outfit.
I do regularly.
If you love Alex's style,
I regularly wear a grout fit. I like a Sunday grout fit. I have
agree.
I have gray sweatpants and a identical shade of gray sweatshirt, and it's so good. Like it makes you more comfortable knowing that you look bad. Does that make sense?
no.
You're like, I'm truly strubbing it today.
Yeah, like I don't have to worry about looking good at all. I look first of all, my face, grout fit, grout fit if there ever was one.
Especially with my contacts on.
Yeah, my that would be. You think those exist?
Colorblind contacts.
But even glasses, like
You think that science has been
because they have
someone has spent the resources to do it?
they supposedly have the glasses that go from colorblind to
Yeah, that's what
full
that's what
colored.
Facebook videos are telling me.
Yeah, that's true. Am I to believe that? Is that fake?
I think it's fake.
I think it might be
Yeah,
fake
that
too.
seems
but-
kind of fake.
We
feel-
should make one of those videos and see if we get about it.
Yeah.
Should
I'll volunteer to see in color for the first time. That could be great.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Alex's shirt is green.
Oh boy.
all right. Should we get into the episode for
Yeah,
Let's
God's
get to the
sake?
episode.
The transition. I was gonna say this kind of outfit, in this kind of weather,
You are wearing a. All right, sorry. Go on.
you go running.
Yeah, you can. Not are those? Oh, those are sweatpants.
These are sweatpants.
Those are
aren't
nice
these?
sweatpants you got on.
Yeah, thank you.
I thought they were slacks.
Yeah, I think they're they are slacks.
Oh, see, that changes everything. Then you must be like, I'm shocked that look at he has a huge hole in his pants.
Yeah, I mean,
he wore it to work.
It is insane that I could wear that to work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we work in completely different industries.
Yeah, for sure.
Chris, the high fashion industry.
I work at.
Oh my God.
I'm a professional podcaster.
Louis Vuitton.
Chris is wearing a shirt, which I should have worn my shirt. But
Yeah.
Chris is wearing a shirt of a local half marathon.
I wanted
they
to
did.
fit in for the episode.
So we're for this episode, we're doing Running 2: Return to the Track. Not really. We're doing an update on
Just
running.
an update because we haven't talked about running. I mean, yeah, in our podcast, I Need a Hobby. We've
We
always
have
said our biggest hobby. It's become so much of a hobby that it's not,
Transcends the hobby.
It transcends the hobby.
Yeah,
it's a
kinda.
chore at this point.
And I'd say it's how we all met. We met
Yeah,
through running.
we all
It
met
is how we
running.
met.
I met Angela in the cross country team. We met Alex at a cross country summer camp.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
2010 maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that
2010.
when it was?
2010.
Yeah, 2010. Wait, was it? That seems like very recently. I feel like.
Yeah, I think that was my best year.
That was my
I think
peak.
it's been downhill since then.
Right.
And I'm not sure who to blame.
I'm
You
doing-
guys? Me?
Just going down the turf.
But yeah, we met at running camp. So we've been running
a while.
for years. Listeners of the show know we've had a few running episodes. We haven't had a dedicated running episode in
Since, episode 7 running.
almost a year. Episode
Oh,
7
no,
running.
unless you want to talk about marathon.
We did marathon training. We did marathon. We did beer mile.
Yeah.
We did running from the fuzz,
Why-
the cops.
Why do we do all the running ones? We did them so close
Yeah, we
together.
did so-
yeah.
I think it was before we realized that there were other hobbies.
That's
Mhm.
true.
We were
Yeah.
sticking tried and true.
However, we are planning to do in the future, we've definitely talked about triathlon for another
Yep.
running one.
Potentially.
And we are planning to do Beer Mile 2.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris has been
Maybe
dying
this
to do that
weekend.
one.
I think we should do it this weekend.
You guys are on
We've
this
talked
weekend?
about that.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, I think
All
we should.
right. Any is this episode coming out
Oh,
tomorrow?
you know what? I'm gonna be sick this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sick. I can't do it.
Yeah, no, it'll be out tomorrow. We
If
can- we
anyone's
can say.
around the greater Boston area and wants
Yeah.
to do a beer mile,
Yeah, absolutely. Let
what
us
if we
know.
did it with
After,
eggnog instead though for the season?
well,
No, it's too
I guess that's
early.
more of a Christmas.
wait,
We'll do it with gravy.
when I graduated, you know what? I've joked about it in the past. I quit the podcast for real this time. I can't
You don't want to
that.
do a gravy mile?
My high school, after I graduated high school, because we used to do the chocolate milk mile in
Yeah,
high
I
school.
remember that.
After I graduated, they started doing the eggnog mile.
Ugh.
That might be worse.
Madmen. Why would they do that? That's an awful idea.
No, the chocolate milk mile is insane as well.
Yeah,
It's so much worse than
that's
the
what I'm
beer
saying.
mile.
Chocolate milk mile, awful idea. Eggnog mile, even worse. And what are they going to do? Like a rubber cement mile? They might as well. like that's disgusting.
Yeah, it's the thickest liquid.
I'm still all in on the gravy mile, to be honest.
Now, didn't it? You know what? Never mind. I don't want to do that.
I
That
actually
makes me sick thinking about it.
it makes me thick.
Thinking about it makes me sick. Doing it makes me thick. Let's do it. All right, so we're going to talk about. Let's do a little update from our last episode, which was marathon
Yeah.
running.
Let's rewind.
I think we
A
said
simpler time.
So Andrew, you were injured.
I was injured.
Chris and I had just run the Disney Marathon
hmm
early January 2017, and
Trump had just been elected into office.
he wasn't even inaugurated. Yet.
Right? Was it that week maybe? No, it was before
No,
that.
I think it was.
You
a couple
guys love
weeks before
talking
that.
about Trump.
I'm
huh?
just saying,
The whole world revolves around
It's-
Donald
it's
Trump's
crazy-
Venmo.
It's
now.
crazy
True.
to think how much time has gone by since we've done an episode.
It is
Yeah.
weird to think like, what other social media platforms is he on? Like, does he check Facebook? He's of the right demographic. Like
Yeah, that's
old
true.
people love Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Yeah, we
Dude.
could get into that.
Dude probably loves Vine.
We should do. We could do an episode on Donald Trump's hobbies.
Wow. We could get him on the show, I'm sure.
Yeah, we probably
I mean,
could.
we already got Bill Clinton, Charles
Yeah.
Barkley. You know,
Mhm.
he's just another weird kind of celebrity like that. I'm
Yeah.
sure he could fit right
Yeah.
in.
He's just another celebrity with like a very distinguishable voice that people could easily mimic. So we
yeah,
can get him on the
yeah,
show.
we could
Yeah.
probably.
All right, back to running, guys.
Yeah, running.
You guys are running away from the topic.
I'm
Very
trying
nice.
to.
So after the marathon, I don't remember if we really talked about it in the episode,
Mhm.
but we had planned on running races later on in 2017.
Yeah.
Chris and I, at least.
Yeah.
So that's basically where we ended with running.
What do you mean ended?
That's what the listeners know of.
That
our
was the
running
end.
saga.
Oh yes, yes.
So now we should update them.
Yeah, that's the point of the episode, right?
So Chris,
yeah.
you planned on doing a half marathon, right?
Mhm.
Oh wait, we both did a half marathon in May.
Together. Yeah.
All
I wanted
right,
to
so
get
we
into that
should we
for
talk
sure.
about that?
I would love to.
You know what? I got a bone to pick with Chris about that half marathon.
Oh, nice.
Is it what I
he was
think it
wearing
is?
he was wearing all Nike, wasn't
I don't. the guide comes, no brand names, like he was trying to make a point. What the heck? No, we did. Chris and I did the Providence half marathon.
Sure.
in
With
May.
former
guest.
guest,
guest host.
Billy.
Billy, yeah,
Billy came around with us.
and the race
It was,
started.
Billy, it was Billy's idea. I gotta give him some credit there. I'm pretty sure Billy was the one trying to get everyone to run it.
I think you're right, which is
Yeah.
weird because like that's weird. Like, no, I guess our listeners don't know that Billy, like, that's just out of character of Billy.
To have plans.
Um,
kind of comes and goes.
But
That
the,
is
the
true.
race started at like 8. We wanted to get there at like 7. So
It's
we're
about an
gonna-
hour drive.
Oh, we'll call it carpool.
hmm
Let's meet up at Chris, pretty central location.
Also, just because I want to, like, I'm not trying to save myself here. I'm doing the opposite. The night before, Billy said, meet at my place. And I said, I'm driving, so meet at my place.
Yeah, I do remember we weren't sure where to meet, but it
Yeah.
made sense to meet at your place.
yeah, I did.
it was
in
at
the end.
your home in
No, his apartment. His
Yeah.
old
the
apartment.
old apartment. Yeah,
Mhm.
My
the hot
Boston,
one.
My Boston stomps.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I get there early, as I do, punctual.
hmm
Billy shows up a tad late. I won't judge him for it.
Minutes late.
Chris walks out. Still has his nightcap on.
I was gonna
in his
ask.
pajamas.
A warm glass of
Still
milk.
Mr. Burns-esque. I'm not gonna lie. No, we get in his car. No gas. This is a Sunday morning at 6 o'clock. You think the gas stations are open?
Yeah,
They're
we-
not.
I think we went to about 3 gas
We
stations.
went to maybe 3 or 4
Not
gas
a
stations.
drop of gasoline.
It's almost 7 o'clock now, and we say we got to take someone else's car.
Actually,
This happened. Did you
Yeah,
not know about
sure
this?
no. I have a story about that one time too. Is one time I was going. This was like sophomore year of college. I was going to my friend's house for New Year's Eve, and
Yep.
it was in like a town like 45 minutes away, and I realized that I could like all the gas stations were closed, and I was like, shoot, I've
it's
screwed
late-
up because it
late
was
or
late.
early.
It was late on New Year's Eve. It was like 9 o'clock or
Yeah.
something, and I was like trying to drive somewhere, and I was freaking out. I literally just crossed my fingers and went for it.
See, like,
yeah, and I
you-
made it,
Like,
but
what would you
it was
do?
bad. I had no
Yeah.
idea. I was like, shoot, I'm screwed. Like
Yeah.
I was gonna have to ask my dad to take his car or something, but I had a good feeling I would make it, but like the gas light went on like 5 minutes into my ride. You know, I was like, okay, like
With
I,
us, the gas light was on
Before the ride,
when
like
the key turned.
Yeah, I
literally
wasn't out of
said-
gas.
I mean, on an hour-long drive, it said we had like 10 minutes of gas.
Either
left.
way, it's just a scary scenario.
Yeah.
So I'm
like
glad you
as
guys
the key
avoided it.
turned, it went. And Chris looked at me and said, "Guess we're running there." Wah wah. I said, "Dude, why don't say wah wah? This isn't funny."
We can't run 50 miles.
But you know what? We
Yeah.
made it there, and it was a fun
It
time.
was a fun time.
What'd you think of the half, Chris?
Great race. So this was my second time doing it. I'll give him a shout out. The Providence Half Marathon.
Oh, was it? I don't
Second
know if I knew
time.
that.
Yeah, I ran it in
Yeah,
college.
Chris has run like every half marathon.
I think I've run like
low-key.
10 half marathons at this point.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's, I'd call it a hobby. But we show up. It's a pretty big, good sized race, I'd say. It's not,
There was a marathon.
there was a
same
marathon
day,
also,
too.
yeah,
Same
which,
day, same
you know,
spot.
the vibes are always exciting. I
Mhm.
like races that both because I like it's such a fun day. Finish half marathon, you get plenty of time to like, oh, go grab some food, do
Yep.
something.
Yeah.
By the time you're like comfortable again, you catch the finish of the marathon.
Yeah.
What a
and,
day.
and it can't be stated enough how I think you guys would agree that a half marathon compared to a marathon is just
Oh, yeah.
a breeze.
half marathon, you
half
could have
marathon,
a day.
You're right. You do a half marathon, you're done. You are really tired, but
For
it's
sure.
just you're
But
good.
you could do an activity after.
yes,
like,
yes.
I think half marathon is the perfect race because it's tough enough
It's very
to
challenging
train
as well.
for,
Mhm.
but it doesn't mentally and physically destroy you.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
like a marathon or longer distance. would.
Mhm. Definitely.
Um,
So
one thing that I remember from that race is finishing, hanging out, and they had the beer tent.
yeah,
We got like 8 extra beer tickets.
It was
each.
crazy.
Everyone kept on going up to us and being like, "Hey,
because this race gave
have our
us
beer
2
tickets."
beer tickets, and 2 beers. That's plenty
Two
for
each?
2 each.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Which is plenty for
That's standard for a
8
road race.
in
I
the
think that's
morning, 9 in
perfect,
the
yeah.
morning. I don't want much more than 2 beers.
No, no.
But we ended up, with like 8 or so. Because everyone else
I'm
is like,
having-
oh, I just want 1. I'm driving.
right, I'm having 4 or 5 during the race, so like,
Of course,
I'm
yeah.
gonna have 2, maybe 3,
You're doing a
4
beer
or
half
5
marathon.
more after. You know, it's like I'm gonna get sick eventually.
Yeah, it's a lot of liquid.
But yeah, they kept on dishing us out like these guys. Holy cow, these
Mm.
guys look cool. Hey, shotgun one for me, Alex. I said, "Oh, all right.
But this race was fun. I'd been running in the summer. This race was in May, so it was a while
Yeah.
back. But I went into it. Goal was to run
For Providence.
Providence.
Yeah.
Goal was to run like 145, which for me is like solid. But then instantly start, look to my left like a mile in, see him with the 140 pacer, change my goal.
To
We're going for
140?
140.
Oh, nice.
And basically hit it right on. I think it was like 140 and change. So it was a good day, and I felt really good. It was like I was tired, but like not that tired. Felt like I
Yeah.
could get on faster. How was your day out
For
there?
my race, which this is something that I think happens
Mhm.
to if you have a race goal and you're running with someone else. I feel like this is common because it's
Yeah.
happened to me a
Oh,
lot.
another thing I want to say about this race is Billy and Alex were there too, and I do this often. I've done this with Andrew before. If I'm at a race with friends, I ditch them at the start. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be anywhere
I
near
think-
you guys.
I
It's
think
just
that's fine.
annoying. No,
Yeah.
it's annoying. It's annoying.
But
you don't
for-
like it?
Yeah, well, there'd be like stuff where it's more like
Wait,
I would say Chris, I'll run with you for this one. I don't want to go like and die out there, you know. I'll just run with you. But Chris is like really like self-motivated. Like he has his own goal in
Right.
mind. And I think he basically knows that like I
The
don't want to
roast
seem
has
like
turned to
braggy,
Chris.
but if it's like Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that you think that if you stick with me, you're gonna go out too fast, and then you're gonna lose your time, all because that I wanted to run with you.
I don't know if that's what I don't.
That's what I think.
I think it's I don't want any external pressure at all.
We should settle this with a race. This is getting heated.
Beer mile this Sunday.
You get a
no,
2-minute head start.
I don't
Saturday.
think. I think that's fair of Chris to leave, but you're right. If you say, Chris, I'm going to run with you this time, and Chris goes, okay, zoop, and then you're like,
No,
hides
that
him.
is what like
that
is what
is a
happened.
little weird.
That's what happened at Falmouth.
Yeah.
Years
You
ago.
just got to talk it out. You got to
Yeah.
talk it out because
Yeah. You gotta have a plan.
for Providence, I don't even remember talking about to Chris about starting with him or not.
Mhm.
Like, so I didn't care at all. I didn't even notice that we weren't running, that you weren't there at the start. But I was with Billy at the start, and
Yeah.
we first of all we had a little friendly competition going. If I
Mhm.
recall, on the way
Yeah.
up, he said, "Alex, I'm going to beat your guts." A few times, he kept on looking me in the eye, even though he was driving.
Looking me in the guts.
Yeah, he just slammed on the brakes real quick on the highway.
Another funny
Just to say.
another
He took
funny
out a
thing.
lead pipe, nailed me in the shins a few times on the ride up.
Another funny thing about that drive was so we were running a little bit late, not like we were in any panic,
Yeah,
but
we were a little bit. We were late.
with like 10 minutes left in the drive, Billy pulled over at a gas station to pee.
He
which
was the
is really
bathroom. I
funny.
know that was weird too.
It was really weird. I just want to bring it up.
Time management. All right, so I told Billy at the start, like, all right, I'm gonna go out like 7:30 pace, and see if I could keep that. I don't remember if I had like a specific time goal, but I figured I would do that for most of the race and then try to pick it up near the end. And Billy's like, all right, I'll stick with you. That sounds good. We went out at like 6:30 pace or something crazy.
Always happens.
And
Yeah, every
we
time.
both knew. Right, this is what I'm saying. We both knew it happened, but we just like kept that pace for as long as we
Wait,
could.
Yeah.
do you
until
mean
we died.
for 1 mile?
Yeah,
like
I
that was-
remember passing the 1 mile and it
At-
was
at
like
6:30
way
or
too
something?
fast, which always happens.
Yeah.
Every time.
And then we should have like communicated and been like, maybe we should. It's like an ego thing. Like I don't want to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're
That's
going
like
way
the
too
same thing when
fast.
in my marathon. I hopefully I didn't tell this story on the marathon episode, but anyway, when like my friend Tim and I went out and we're going to try to qualify for Boston,
Right.
and we go and our first mile, no joke, is 5:52, which is just insane
Yeah,
for,
way too
that's
fast.
for a
insane.
marathon.
Like, that is-
Incredibly fast.
Why
Like,
would you do that?
it made no sense. Yeah, I mean, I've said over and over again how that marathon kicked my ass, and I did not. It was just bad. Like my time was good in the end because I ran so fast at the beginning,
But it was
but
probably like the
pain
most
I felt-
difficult
yeah,
way you could run that time.
exactly. So it's the same thing, but like that is like a guarantee to happen. Basically, like you
Mhm.
you always
To what?
t-
Bonk?
you say you'll go for a time, but,
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
really like you're just gonna go faster. It's just
Right.
unless you're
Yeah.
extremely disciplined,
But
is
which
what I'm
is
saying.
which
And-
I think having like a pacer or something like that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a group of people.
Yeah, because that's funny. Because at first you're with the pacer and you're laughing to your friends like, look at this chump. This guy's just jogging right
Yeah.
now, and then all of a sudden at mile 10 or something, you're like,
Yeah.
all right, you know,
Yeah,
Because for
somehow
me,
going the same pace.
because for me too, I think like the reason that race went pretty well is because it was so little pressure. Because like I hadn't really been training for
Yeah.
it, and also I was with that pacer who was ahead of my goal. So it was kind of like, okay, like
I'm doing
worst
well.
case, I make it 8 miles and
Yeah.
drop. I'm still gonna beat my goal
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I think the problem is like anything longer than or a half marathon or longer, like it's a race of patience.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
So your body, you don't understand that you should feel like it's extremely easy for like the first 5 miles, no matter what. Like if you feel like, oh, I could run 5 miles, no one cares. You're just gonna die at mile 10 or mile 18 if it's a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just gotta sit back,
Gotta
relax,
take your time.
hang out with your pacer, listen to a pod.
Which is stressful.
enjoy your
It's stressful to wait, like
right?
because
it
you're
is.
like
That's
I've been
the exact
training.
thing.
I know I can run
Like,
whatever.
Maybe
It's like-
maybe I could hold a 6:30 pace.
Right.
this whole race.
That's exactly
Which
it.
is
But then you
marathon.
find out the hard way
It's
that
like-
you can't.
well, like, what if I went like
Six-
the
5:52
the
every
regular?
mile. Yeah.
They're like, what if I went the regular pace? Right. If I went that pace, and then all of a sudden, like, oh no, I have to make it this exact time every
Yeah.
time, or I'm
Yeah.
screwed. But if you get that fast time, like,
Bank a little
well, you
time.
know,
I know, but
all of a sudden,
But it never
it
works
doesn't
out
work.
Yeah,
that
It
way.
does
Like,
not
we're
work. It
wrong.
doesn't work.
We're actually like I'm getting the emotions like thinking this might work one time.
Like, that's a
I gotta
great
sign up
idea,
for a
Andrew.
race.
It never works.
So
It
yeah,
never
I
works.
ended up being pretty happy with my time. I think I got 134 or 132. I forget.
Yeah, I think it was 32.
Honestly, it's crazy how much that doesn't work. Like even going to like the 800, like in
Yeah.
high school,
Yeah.
running like a half mile,
Mm-hmm.
you just can't run the first quarter
You
at
will
like
die.
55 seconds.
I
You're
know.
gonna die.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't work. No
Yeah.
matter you can break it down to any distance.
I know.
The 1 meter dash. Don't try to.
What are you thinking?
Don't try to go
You're
so
going
fast.
way too fast. That's what my dad says. You're going way too fast, Alexander.
Can you imagine the 1 meter dash? It's like the quickest reflexes.
It's just
the quick lean, the
it's
head
just
nod.
gravity.
Yeah. Be
Um,
fun.
but yeah,
So that was May.
that was
Now
yeah.
we're in
I thought that
November.
was a good half. You're right. Low pressure.
Yeah.
I remember signing up for it just to do it. You
Yeah.
know?
Exactly.
Now we're in November. So what have we done in between?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
What's
have you
the
done?
order of events? What have I done?
yeah, I don't know what. Let's see. May, summer. What happened in the summer?
Yeah, I can talk.
Okay.
So this summer, I was running a good amount. Really with the goal of I ran a half marathon in October.
Hartford half.
Hartford half. I'm wearing the shirt. I got proof.
It's gray.
In between, I ran a couple random road races. I did a 4th of July race that was pretty fun.
Nice.
Impulsively, like I decided the night before I was going to do it. Showed up, signed up right there on the spot. Like
Wait,
by
this was-
myself, hung around for a bit after.
This wasn't around here, was it?
This was, yeah.
Oh,
It's
was
in
it?
Dedham.
Oh, no. Oh yeah. I remember you saying you
Yeah,
ran
it was
it.
a 4 on the 4th. It's
Nice.
a fun 4 miles is a good distance.
Great race.
I was happy with my time, had a lot of fun. I love starting a holiday with a race, which we'll get into.
Mhm.
Or really just like starting any day with a race. Is so,
Yeah.
especially like I did like being after that race it was like 9:30. I got back to my place. My roommates were still asleep. And I was like, "Great, let's have a 4th of July."
Yeah.
You know?
You feel productive.
Yeah.
You know.
So that race went well. Training for this half marathon, training pretty intense. I'd say I was running like 4 or 5 days a week. Nothing.
For this one in November.
Yeah, October.
Okay.
I guess I wasn't definitely not.
Oh, the
close-
Hartford. You ran Hartford this year?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. That's
Yeah.
funny.
That's what this episode's about.
Look at his shirt.
So
Yeah, I thought it was in November for
the
some
goal was to run like faster than the one in May. That was
Yeah.
my goal going in. Go back, the pacer situation again.
So
looking
what
around.
was your training like that? Like, were you taking it pretty intense for training?
I was on and off. It was super busy I feel like I had a lot of times where it was like, oh, this whole weekend I can't run. Oh,
Yeah.
this week I'm working a lot of hours, so I can't.
Too much
It's
podcasting,
tough.
yeah.
It's tough to go from the 9 to 5
Can
to
you
straight
imagine?
to a
We could do a
podcast.
podcast on a run. We got Todd to hold the mixer.
Yeah.
Unlistenable.
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 It would be fun to try it.
So yeah, I think I decided. I found this summer, even though it's tough to train, like I think the summer is my favorite time to train because
Oh wow.
it's lighter later. That hurt to
Chris
say.
is having a stroke on podcast.
Because recently I've been trying to run and it's just been tough. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll save that.
Especially since you got a 9 to 5.
Exactly. It's like I don't see the light. It's dark all day.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's getting depressing.
So I get to this race, October. It was a fun race. I went to a pasta party the night before. That's
Oh,
our running
classic.
staple.
All
I had a friend who was hosting one. A lot of fun. Show up to the race. Start off, I see that there's a 145 pacer and a 130 pacer. So no pacer for me this
You
time.
said to yourself-
Just split the difference.
I'm going road. Yeah.
You held up a sign that said 140 and said, "I'm the pacer now."
Yeah.
Wait, actually, what about this idea? Stick with the 145 pacer, and then halfway through the race, just run as fast as you can.
Yeah. See, I was like,
I don't know. I'm actually
yeah.
serious.
It might be a little bit too fast to do that, but maybe who knows? That'd be
Yeah.
crazy.
Like you could do that on the 1 meter dash.
Yeah.
You know.
Stick with the
Like,
Yeah,
stick with the 140 pacer.
the .140 stick pacer.
It's just like a sloth on a turtle.
Yeah. But this race, it started all right. I was going fast again, way too fast. I think I went through the 5K at like 7:10 pace when I should have been running slower, and like the next few miles a little bit slower. And around mile 8 or 9, I really just like I hit that point where I just knew it was like
That's like the
it's
that's
the
where the
worst
wall
feeling.
comes on a
Yeah.
half marathon.
because it wasn't like it was a weird exhaustion because I wasn't like the wall in a marathon where you're like I can't move.
Yeah.
It was just like I can't move fast. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
was
different.
like, it was so frustrating.
It's like
'cause you're
just like the knowledge of your pace going.
yeah, exactly.
Down
And
slower.
I hit a point where I was like, okay, this is gonna be slower. So last few miles, jogged it in basically. Sad finish. I think my time was 144 or something, so I missed it by a little bit.
All right, you got broke 145 though.
Yeah, but it's interesting that the race that I didn't really care about went better.
Yeah,
and
that's
I think it's like
frustrating.
I don't know. I think that needs to be more of if I'm doing races in the future, I want to think maybe just choose it last second.
But I feel like it's the same idea.
like
of
I think
like
I
the
think
starting off too strong thing. Like
yeah.
like you're risking it. You want to get a good time, so you have to
time.
risk it. Either you're getting
That's
that
true.
time, or you're gonna
Get a little.
bonk and go lower.
Yeah, I think.
It's like taking a risk, you know.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Whereas
So-
the other one, you took it conservative, and so I don't know.
Because I think that there's
I hate
something
this
stressful
sport.
for me. I think for me, what I found is I like setting goals that are like far in advance, but I don't usually do amazing. It's like
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, I'm training for this race for 4 months, and it's like training
got,
goes all right.
I've got stuff to say about that.
and then I don't do great. And then it's like in my head right after the race, I remember I had like a conversation. My girlfriend was there, and she's like, "Oh, you did great." And I was just like, "No, I didn't." I was like, "It's fine," but
Did she say congratulations?
well,
You guys-
she was like,
you guys
"Great
know
job."
I have a strong opinion on that.
Yeah.
Oh, what's wrong with
Uh,
congratulations?
I thought we've had this
Oh
conversation.
yeah, we did have
before.
this after the.
I don't like when
marathon.
people say congratulations to me after running. I think it makes me uncomfortable.
That's
I'm
weird.
okay with it. It's fine. You could say it. All right,
Yeah.
this happened to me the other day. We'll get into my running, but
Sure.
If it's
someone,
like a 5K, then
someone
and
said
you-
congratulations to me,
and
right?
you're in your shape, then you don't need to say
I think-
congratulations.
yeah, but I don't
everything
think
else
they're-
is
No,
like, why not?
That's for sure. The 5K thing.
Yeah.
I'm not firmly against it. I'm saying it makes
Mm.
me extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Why?
Someone said congratulations to me the other day, so I was like, oh, thanks. And then someone else
It was
was
about
like,
your promotion, right?
Yeah.
See, that's no. Well, I don't know. Well, so someone else asked me and said, "Oh, what was the congratulations for?" It's like now I have to brag.
Yeah, that's
that's
weird.
true.
That's
yeah.
so puts me in such an awkward position.
Mhm.
I didn't even want to bring this up, you know.
Yeah,
and
that's
now,
true.
now all of a sudden I'm bragging,
Yeah, it's
you
tough.
know, about a decision that
Mhm.
I paid for. It's nothing to running a marathon is nothing to brag about.
Mhm.
It's a good achievement.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. Just I feel weird like having people think that I'm bragging about it.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like
yeah.
I'd say with my thing, like obviously if someone says congratulations or like good job, I'm not upset that
I'm
they
upset.
said it.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just more in the I'm like, okay, like thanks, but I'm not totally happy, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
And it's
like,
hard to explain. It's like, thanks, that's nice that you said that.
Or
you
when
know?
people say like, "Whoa, that's a great time." Like,
yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
I don't need pity. Like,
Yeah, I'll be like, oh, cool. But because it's like, if I tell someone who doesn't run that I ran whatever time, they won't, it probably isn't relevant to them. You know, like
Right.
if I say 140 something, it's like the difference between 140 and like 30 minutes. They might
You
not
guys are
know.
like battling with yourselves right now.
It's
You
weird.
guys
Yeah.
have these inner like issues.
I have demons.
maybe
all
that's
right?
true. I don't know. Like, you probably got that when you ran your
What?
marathon. Were people like, "Whoa, that's such a great time"?
yeah, but
when you know, like, you could do faster. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't even get your goal. And
Right.
You had a good time. Obviously, it's not.
And
And
it's
wrong.
worth congratulating, but it's like
Well,
a weird like.
no, well,
yeah,
I like
thanks.
understood that. Like for anyone, just when I would tell them my time, they would be like, "Wow, that's really good." If I, like, "Oh, what pace is that?" Like, "Oh, wow, that's really good." I'd be like, "Yeah, like it was like a little below my goal though," and that's fine. Like,
But
Yeah.
what
this is what happened.
That's it.
This
and
is
then
what
that's
I.
the conversation.
This is what I went through this past couple weeks or whatever.
Mhm.
I said my time. Wow, that's a really good time. And like I had these different goals. So one of my goals I didn't get. So I'd be like, yeah, I was happy with it.
That's what I. That's
And
what I
then
said.
then they say like, "Oh, come on, that you did so well."
yeah, see,
Like,
that's
don't feel sorry for. I don't feel sorry for myself. Don't
Yeah.
feel sorry for me. You know.
Yeah, I guess I haven't got that.
It's like they feel the need to comfort me.
Uh,
Let my wife do that. Jeez, you know.
I
It
think
just makes me uncomfortable.
you guys are overreacting.
But I think that's why
I'm gonna throw a hissy fit. All right.
I think that's why I like the idea of running a bunch of races though, is because it's like if I just say I'm like, oh yeah, I just did it. Like I did it for fun or I did
Yeah.
it for a time, but like
Right.
the time matters less when you do a bunch of them. I
Right.
think. I don't
just
know.
don't like people talking to me. That's-
Maybe I'll just stop telling people
this-
about my weekends.
this is real. This someone after my marathon texted me, said, "How'd it go?" So I said my time,
yeah.
and I said, "Oh, I'm just happy I finished." Like kind of jokingly because it was a
Yeah.
really tough course, but I was still happy with my time. So I was like, "Oh, I'm just glad I finished." That's a thing to say, you know.
Yeah. Chris said it in Disney.
And they
Definitely.
said, "Oh, no shame in that." What am I supposed to feel shame? That's like implanting shame into me.
You should feel a little shame.
You are overreacting big time. It's just they're just talking.
That's
you know?
me, yeah, but you know what I mean?
It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, whatever. Like
I responded with the middle finger emoji. Is that an overreaction?
whatever.
But yeah, so post this race, taking a break from running.
So it's been what, a month since the race?
It's been a month. I've been running like 2 or 3 times a week, but I've been going to the gym more. I canceled my membership at the beginning of the summer because I found I was like running a lot. Signed back up. Got a great deal.
Nice.
I was like, hey, remember me? Planet Fitness.
Yeah, Yeah,
So I've
great,
been going.
great race. Oh, what the?
So now I've been lifting like 2 or 3 days a week and running 2 or 3 days a week.
Nice.
Sometimes they kind of like overlap, go do a few miles on the treadmill and getting back to the treadmill. Whew.
Someone today someone told me they had once run 20 miles on a treadmill.
It's insane.
Is that crazy?
I did 10 miles on a treadmill once and I almost went insane.
Yeah, that's bad.
But I thought about signing up for a race now just to like put it on my calendar, but
Right.
I'll fill it out.
Like a half,
see where I'm at. Yeah, maybe just a random half or even just like something.
Yeah.
To keep me in shape.
Triathlon.
Yeah, we'll say it.
Yeah,
we'll
save
get
it
into
for the
that
end.
for
We'll talk
sure.
about
Yeah,
the end.
our future. So my current plan for running is maybe we'll do this triathlon this spring. We'll see about that.
Yeah.
But I think I do want to put another marathon in the book soon.
Wow.
Maybe I was thinking maybe this spring, but maybe in the fall. We'll say feel it out. See
Nice.
how the winter goes.
All right, good.
And I decided the other day, this big announcement.
Uh-oh.
Not that big an announcement, but I think we've talked about this before. So far, I've run 2 marathons in 2 different states.
Yeah.
I want to keep up the trend because I met a couple people who have run marathons in every
man.
states. I don't think I'm going to do it.
You're getting yourself into so much stress.
But
Yeah.
but I figure if I'm going to keep running them, I might as well not
I do
them,
agree.
you know what I mean?
Alaskan marathons near me.
I like the idea of going. We
Like,
talked
why
about
not?
it. Like
You
a
make the trip out of it.
destination
Yeah.
marathon is like a cool idea. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, so
I agree.
I feel like my next one will be pretty local, but I'll say
Yeah.
not in
All right.
states I've done it before.
Yeah, good idea.
Alex?
Yeah, that's a good idea, Chris.
It's not that good.
Good idea and great time.
It could have been better. It is. There's no shame in it.
No,
but-
maybe I am wrong. I think I used the wrong tone when I said the no
Yeah,
shame thing.
Yeah.
But it was through text message. You can't read tone. Whatever. I felt shame. All right. I felt shame. All right. I'll get into my running for the past year. After the half marathon in May, I decided I wanted to run a marathon in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
So I was originally thinking about doing the Hartford Marathon when
Mhm.
Chris was going to do the half, because I thought I'm from Connecticut, Nutmeg State.
I might stay till you die.
Why not? I'll try to PR, maybe try to qualify for Boston. We'll see.
Hartford's a pretty fast course for the marathon.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
And then I considered maybe the Lowell, Massachusetts Bay, whatever it's called,
Bay
State
State
Marathon. Whoa, that was good.
That's scary.
Because that people qualify for that all the time. Qualify for Boston in that all the
Flat
time.
as a pancake, people say.
And then my dad's like, "Oh, I'll run Hartford too if you run it." So I'm like, "This is great." Pops and I are both going to be running Hartford, fast course. We'll both get great times. It's going to be a great time. Then my brother comes in. Hey guys, let's run this marathon
Wah, wah.
in Raleigh, North Carolina, the hilliest marathon of all time. And my dad's like, "All right, let's do it." And then my mom guilted me into running this marathon. That's not really true. So now I decided to sign up for the
So
city.
your brother, and your dad supposed to run.
Yeah, my dad didn't end up running. We don't have to get into that. We could save that for another running updated episode or something.
But
So
was
I
that
signed
like a bummer? Like, were you like, oh well, now I'm like doing this marathon in North Carolina,
was
and my dad's not even doing it with me.
I'll get into it, but because it was for sure a bummer. It was. I'm fine. I was fine with
Like
it.
obviously,
yeah.
you can't really.
But,
blame him, but
Once the race got a little closer, stuff developed.
Mm.
So I started training July 3rd, I believe. So I did the 4 and the 4th. One day in, I already strayed away from my training program by accidentally running a road race. I was supposed to do like 3 hill repeats or something, and I ran 4 miles. But that's okay. So I trained all through the summer. I thought training through the summer was very hard.
Really?
Like
Ooh, that's interesting.
The long runs were tough
guess that's true
compared
in
to
the
the
hot weather.
winter when we trained in
Mhm.
the winter. Like I would constantly have to like stop for water or something like that. Whereas
we got into this summer, me and you, is running with a water bottle.
running with a water bottle was great.
Something I'd never done before.
Like that
But
was a
I think
savior
essential in
of
the
my
summer.
summer running.
Wait, well, like you held it the whole time.
Well, it's like a
like
handheld
a running water bottle.
So it, like,
hydration belt, water bottle.
it's
Same
up,
same
but it's-
premise.
But you hold.
Oh,
it,
like that
yeah.
squishy one or no?
Yeah,
It
but
just
it's
has a
like it has like a
strap.
strap around
this
your
is
hand.
insane that we're just driving this.
Handheld
All right.
belt.
Okay,
Uh,
so right, so you don't have to like put in that much effort.
I
No,
had-
it basically just hangs there.
I had one run where I was so hot and tired that I saw a loose hose. This is not a joke. A loose hose.
You saw a loose hose.
Yeah, it's not funny. I saw a loose hose
It was loose.
on the side of the street, and I had to drink water from it. It's not funny. I was tired and hot. I'm sipping this. I'm chugging this loose hose's
Did you
water.
put your mouth on the hose?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you actually?
Yeah, it was like a baby's bottle. I was suckling from it.
How
Someone
loose.
runs by, looks at me, and says, "There's shame in that.
Really?
There's much shame in that, Alex." No. But that's what I mean. Like, that's not something you come across during fall and winter running.
That's true.
You know? First of all, you rarely come across a loose hose. Thank God that was there.
You sure it wasn't one of those mirages?
And this was early in my training. This was like a 16-mile long run, which is fairly early in my training. So I'm thinking, like, if this is what the summer's going to be like, it's going to be tough. But the water bottle thankfully helped. I ended up doing a half marathon midway through my training, New Haven half in Connecticut. Highly recommend the race. One of the best races. Fairly flat, couple of tough hills, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought about doing
Got
it.
a half marathon PR, which I was happy about. It was only like my second half marathon or third. And then the race, it's getting closer and closer to the race. I'm 2 weeks out from the race, and I start getting this calf stuff, this slight calf pain.
Ooh.
So I'm like, all right, it'll be fine.
And at this point, 2 weeks left. You're pretty much done with your long runs, right?
In my taper phase.
Yeah.
So I was okay taking a few days off.
And
so
that's probably more stressful because it's like you can't really push it to test it. It's
exactly.
Like,
so
all right.
I took a few days off, and then the Sunday before the race, I was supposed to run 8 miles. So I'm thinking my calf feels fine. I go out, I run 2. I get to the third mile. I can't run. My calf is really hurting. I'm at the point where I could run, but every step is going to start being detrimental to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking, like, I'm a week out. I can't run this whole week, or I'm either I'm gonna hurt myself by testing it, or I'm gonna hurt myself on race day, or it's gonna be fine. So I'm thinking, like, I'm getting really upset. Like, I might have to drop out. It's gonna be bad. I can't do that. Like, it's embarrassing. There's much shame in that.
Hey,
this is where my dad running it comes in, because if my dad didn't sign up for this race in North Carolina, I would have run the Lowell Marathon, which was 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
So
my calf was 100%, the best it's ever been. You know, so I'm cursing my dad's name as I'm icing my dang calf.
You have to at that point.
So I'll get into I know I talked about the marathon a little on the pod, but I'll just do a brief summary of it. Saturday before the race, I go out, run 2 miles.
You're in Raleigh.
Raleigh, yeah. I'm testing my calf for 2 miles. Feels fine. I'm thinking, you know what? Keep a positive attitude.
Did you change shoes?
I'll do a, you know what? Runners will be listening
shoe
to this.
talk,
I'll do a little shoe talk here. I have these 2 pairs that I was running with throughout. I have this.
Because when I get to my running update, we're going to do a lot of shoe talk, actually. So,
I had a 0 drop shoe that I was running most of the time with. So basically, there's no heel raise on the shoe. So you're supposed to run more like on your toes. But when you're running on your toes, your calf is getting a lot of work, you know? Sure. That's what the calf does. So I was also running with these more standard running shoes, which didn't put me on my toes as much. So when this calf injury came, I was like, all right, I got to switch shoes. I'll just run on the less calfy ones. So I run the 2 miles. It was fine. Start the race. It is feeling 100%. No pain. I get about 3 miles in. I start getting pain in my other calf. Can you believe it?
That's frustrating.
So now I'm thinking, like, there's something wrong with me as a person. Like, something is not right.
Well, I feel like when you're injured running, I did get talked about with someone else the other day about this. When you hurt one thing, everything can just fall apart because it's like
because you're
you
compensating.
hurt your foot and so you're running on the like the weird part of your foot that doesn't hurt, and then you hurt your calf because of that, and then your knee, and then
it
keeps going.
So I was nervous, but it ended up feeling fine. About 9 miles in, my previous injury, calf, started feeling a little bit painful, but not to the point where it was slowing me down or anything. Half marathon in, everything in my body hurt so bad I didn't even feel my calves. It was perfect, just what I wanted.
Just a half marathon in?
No, I guess that was.
You should have had someone like slap you at the start or something, so you like didn't think about it.
Yeah, all right. Next time works. I'll do that, Chris.
I remember one time before in a track race, an 800 race, one of my friends slapped me in the face before the start.
What?
My friend Andrew V. I don't know if you listen to the show. He convinced me it would work. Ran a PR.
Whoa, all right.
Still whack though.
So the race was, the calves felt fine. I mean, they hurt a ton at the end, but not like injured hurt. They felt fine. The race went well. My first goal was to finish the race.
Always got to be a goal.
Check that off.
Mm-hmm.
I had 3.
Even in a 5K.
I had tiered goals.
That's what I usually do.
It's the point of tiered goals in life.
A, B, C,
you know?
D.
I don't like tiered goals because then if you don't even get the bottom, then you're just like, well.
That's why your bottom always has to be finished. Well, bottom has to be
first goal
start.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. First goal, be alive. Is that good? Because
Yeah.
if you're dead, hear me out. If you're dead, you don't care.
That's true.
Like if you're dead, you don't cry over the
So
goals.
maybe your first goal dead.
First goal, maybe not dead, but be like in existence. So even if you're dead, like you're still in existence.
You're still yes.
First goal, be existing. Second goal, dead. Please. No, so my first goal was to finish. Second goal was to get a PR. Third goal was to break 3:15.
Mm-hmm.
I figured those were decent goals. Also, 3:15 was Andrew's time. That's why I wanted to beat it.
that is exciting. My goals actually that day were to record a podcast with Chris.
Yep.
And not have Alex break 3:15
and be dead. But so, if you remember, earlier in my training, before I signed up for this marathon, my goal was to qualify for Boston, which I would say is a lifetime goal of mine.
Yeah,
that's
same,
fair, right?
Same. Absolutely.
So, but this comes to the end, like, why? All right, I'll get to it. So I got 3:21, which I was happy with because I broke my PR on a tougher course than Disney. I thought this was an incredibly tough course, by the way. Like it was very hard. I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses, but no human could have beat me in this race. It was so hard. No, not true.
You came in second behind a dog.
Yes. My brother did beat me.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like that if we edit that out.
Sure. I'll write that down.
But so I crossed the finish line, and you cross the finish line of your first marathon, and you get like this great feeling, which we talked about on the marathon.
Yeah.
episode.
Oh, is it different the second time?
You get a great feeling of accomplishment. You just
Endorphins.
finished this marathon. Now, I reached 2 out of the 3 of my goals, but I think even if I reached all 3 of my goals, I just felt like, oh, I just ran another marathon. Like, I really didn't even feel like I achieved anything.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why when people say, like, oh, you did so well, like, you don't know me. You know, oh, I reached 2 out of 3 of my goals, but who cares? You know? And I'm not trying to
think
sound
you're going through something.
I'm not trying to sound like mean
I think you got some
or
stuff.
like that it's not like accomplishment. Someone else who like I don't know how to explain it.
I get
but
what
do
you're
you
saying.
understand what
though.
I'm saying?
But it's like I've thought about this before. Is like when would you be totally satisfied? You know, it's
I think if I qualified for if I had a strong goal, if I had a strong girl in my life, then I was satisfied.
that's my A goal.
Holy cow! Talk about a lifetime achievement.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, I was. All right, Todd, edit that out, please. No, but if I had a goal going into the race of qualifying for Boston, which I think I will for my next marathon,
Okay.
then I would at least feel something, either a great achievement of like I worked really hard for this, or like I'm pretty bummed out. Instead, I felt like, why did I do that? You know what I mean? I'm not even joking.
Yeah, no, I do get what you're saying actually.
It's like
because you're at this point where like you're like you were at the time pretty far away from Boston still. So like the best you could really do was like getting there, which is still like it's kind of like your like top goal for this marathon is still like a ways away
Like,
from your ultimate
my
goal,
only-
which is like a bummer, I guess.
My only like real achievement was like getting there. Like, all right, well at least you're improving. Like, dang, you know,
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
a
want
lot
to
of
hear
work.
that.
I think it's
yeah.
also tough to say like this summer I trained pretty hard, but you know I could have trained harder. I could have done more. But like, is it worth it? Like, you know,
I
question it all the
trained
time.
hard for it.
Yeah.
It's just that I trained hard for a goal that was not like a really cool goal. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I could have trained hard for a goal of qualifying,
But it's
and
like
then run a different
yeah.
race where
Yeah.
I would have had
It's
a good
tough.
chance to qualify. And obviously, like you could qualify in that course. It's just I couldn't have where I was. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm at this point in my life where I want to qualify for Boston and run Boston. But even if I qualified tomorrow, I wouldn't run Boston until 2019 or, you know, a long time away.
Yeah.
Will I even be in New England at that point? Like, what's the point of doing
That's true.
this? You know?
Yeah.
I'm like going through this wild crisis in my life.
I
You know what
imagine
I mean?
someone driving right now just on the edge of their seat.
So I don't know. I don't even know if I want to run another marathon in like the next year because I'm just mentally exhausted from running because I got no reward out of it.
Yeah,
That's
you
like
you
what-
didn't feel
in
the
my
same,
mind, that's what's
like
going
when you
on.
finished your first marathon, you felt at least like a sense of like accomplishment.
You feel
I'm sure.
Yeah,
accomplishment
you've got
and you-
accomplishment and PR.
And you
Right
and you
off the
know where you can
go.
improve.
Yeah.
It's like I know I could PR in this because I know I should have started slower. I should have done
Yeah.
this. Blah 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 blah. This one I did all that stuff right. I got a PR, but like I'm in this weird middle ground
Yeah.
where it's like, who cares? Don't tell me I should have no shame. You know, It's weird, and I'm not. I'm ashamed.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. That's it. I quit running. Andrew, you're up.
And the podcast.
But
All right.
I'll do another marathon in 2018 probably. Just cry.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
So I was injured for the Disney
Yeah,
Marathon.
so fans of the show, if you haven't been listening, I guess it was a while ago, but if
Yeah.
you forgot, we all signed up for the marathon. Andrew couldn't make it, unfortunately. Well, he made
Yeah.
it. He
For
came.
Disney, for
came
Disney.
and cheered us on.
Right
at
at
Disney.
around this time last year, I was still
Yeah.
thinking I would do it. Remember?
Yeah,
This
you're
is probably when we were doing like marathon training.
Yeah, it
very
was.
nice,
It was.
yeah.
This is probably when we recorded it.
Yeah.
But
Wait.
yeah, I had like IT band syndrome. It was really bad. I think it was especially bad for me because I guess my glutes were weak and
Yowza.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know exactly why, but something's up with my body. I think I have like my joints are really like flexible as well.
Yeah.
And it has something is going on. So it's just been really hard to kick for me. But I went to this great physical therapy place. I guess I'll shout them out.
It's where my roommate works.
Where your roommate works. Called Marathon Physical Therapy in Newton.
Mass.
Yep. And I got this great physical therapist, Hayes, super cool guy. He was like
Great name.
He was 2 years older than us about. And first of all, like this is a little off topic, but there was like an actual therapy aspect of physical therapy that I like love. It was just like I would go meet with this guy. I did not tell him about my
Psychological?
like I didn't tell him about my problems, but I could just talk about whatever I
I
wanted.
thought
to.
you were going to say, I didn't tell him about my podcast.
I don't think I did tell him about. No, I don't.
Oh, man.
I don't reveal that.
Hayes, if you're
But
listening.
I could just talk about whatever I wanted. Like I remember I talked like I can't stop talking about it on this podcast, but I talked a lot about Bitcoin and like stupid stuff
Weird.
like that. And he was like, it was cool. We talked a lot about gambling. We talked about like stupid stuff like that. And it was great.
I can imagine Andrew like going through a massive like life crisis, sitting in therapy, only talking about Bitcoin.
But it was just like, stuff we could talk about, like the summer, like what we did, what we're doing next year. And he was close enough in age where like it was, we could relate a lot.
I
That
feel
was
like-
nice.
I feel like that's important because you're going like you get bummed out when you're going through an injury,
Yeah.
especially like
Yeah.
running.
That was
People
exactly
use
it.
running to like as like a form of therapy or whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody who can't run. That's good that he was
So-
like helping you out. Like
yeah.
it's good to feel like that when you're
Yeah,
when you're
and
going
he
through
had
it.
also had this injury too, so that was like good as
Yeah.
well. So the best thing about that place is that like I could tell he really knew what he was doing, and he also said something interesting, which he was like this is like physical therapy in Newton, and like for those who aren't familiar with Newton is like a very like wealthy city, like suburb of Boston, probably like the most affluent, maybe, I don't know. Like it's got like
Is that
really
probably?
prestige. Like Newton North High School is like the most like
Yeah.
one of the most expensive like constructed public schools. It has like a gym full of badminton courts and stuff. Like
So you get it. A bunch of nerdy people were
Yeah.
living.
But what he said was like people in Newton like they don't take like a
they want the best.
like they don't like they care a lot about their
they're willing to put
they're
up the
willing
money.
to pay for like really good service or whatever.
Yeah.
So they don't take like, oh, your injury's not getting better. So that was like better than. Yeah, once again, no offense to the people I went to at Amherst at like the University Health Services physical therapy. Like they were good. They were
Shut 'em up.
fine.
Shout them out.
Just shut him out before you take him down.
No, that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
they weren't
They weren't bad.
they weren't bad. Like the physical
just-
therapists I
They
had were
just
really
wouldn't
nice
talk
people.
about Bitcoin.
They just
like
didn't
my
listen to me.
cryptocurrency talk just wouldn't land.
Surprising. But no, they were just like I could just tell like I would like blindly trust Hayes because I could tell he really like knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And these people I could just be like, I don't know if this is working. Like they would do this thing where they would just like, it's called like grafting, I think it was.
Isn't grafting?
I think it's grafting. Grafting I think
like
is when
when
you
you
like
rub on it
grind
or
your
whatever?
teeth or something. Yeah, but it is that. Yeah. So it's like they take like this tool and they rub it against your like leg, but they were just like,
It's almost like taking a butter knife against
yeah,
your legs, right?
but like what
against the
they were
muscle.
doing at Amherst was they were just like painfully grafting my like IT band
Maybe it is
only,
grafting.
which is like not good. As I found out later on, because like I guess I'm like now I'm telling you guys the knowledge that Hayes told me,
Yeah,
but other
that's
people
good
have told me
though,
this
you
too.
should.
Is that like so the problem with the IT band is that it is like it's really tough to get like blood flow there because it's just like in a random spot, like it doesn't. You don't like basically you can't get better from directly massaging the IT band because it's like it's irritated for like there's other problems is
Right.
basically the idea. It's irritated and you can't just like massage it and it gets better.
It's like attacking the symptom, not attacking
Exactly.
Like
So
it feels
that's
better
what it was
after you
like.
get it.
So they would like do the grafting on the IT band and then they do like this thing called ultrasound. Do you know what that is too? It might be like the real
I know
like
what an ultrasound is.
it might be like it honestly might be like the thing that they do with
The
like
babies?
pregnant women. I'm not sure, but like if
They
they
was
put
doing
like
it on my belly.
they did put jelly on like my leg, and then they would put some like hot thing.
Ooh.
It felt pretty good actually, but it didn't help. It's supposed to like break up the tissue in there or something. And yeah, so that was like the Amherst thing, and it was good, but it was just like, well, I don't really feel like I'm getting anywhere with this.
Yeah.
I go to Hayes, and I am like giving Hayes a lot of credit, but all the physical therapists at this place, Marathon Physical Therapy in Newton, were very qualified. So the way it works is like I had 30 minutes with like the physical therapist, and then 30 minutes with like an exercise specialist where I would just do stretches.
Right.
So that was good because it was like a full hour. So I would be really like, first we would like, we'd do our talk. He would tell me what I'm doing and stuff.
Do our talk.
Tell me where to invest my Bitcoin.
And then afterwards I would do like stretches. And the best thing that I learned from there was he told me like the root of the problem, which was like weak glutes. And like, so I needed to like foam roll. I needed to get my glutes stronger. And the other thing was that I like realized that I never really like got the form down we did like an episode on going to the gym, but for like deadlifting and squatting, I like never really got the form down. I was always like bending my back awkwardly and stuff. So it literally took like, it was pretty funny because they started me with like, okay, just do these kind of things with weights. And I would try to do it, and like they did not realize how like far behind I was. Like I literally needed to like, all right, no weight. Like this is how you like.
Yeah, like
That's how you gotta learn that,
hinge your back or something.
Yeah.
So I did learn that, and I was able to do like squats. My legs got stronger. I did feel really good at the end of the summer. And one thing Hayes did, which was really good, was, man, I feel like I'm screaming. I'm like thinking about all these good memories of physical therapy. And he like analyzed my running form, which was like the big thing that I thought was better there than at the UHS one, because at that one they were just like, yeah, your form looks good, like, but like I was like, well, something's not right. So,
Have you seen my glutes? All right.
They're
It's
weak.
not good.
So when he like did like a video to my running form and everything, it was interesting because I knew that like I expected it to look kind of weird. I don't really like looking at a camera of myself doing,
Let alone listening to audio of ourselves. Yikes.
So, but he said like, okay, so you're really overstriding, which is like, I guess that's like,
Bad.
What's the word? No, like it speaks for itself what overstriding is.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, but it speaks for itself.
But the issue was basically, well, not the entire issue, but an issue was that I had been running my whole life basically with shoes that have really good support. So this is what you were
The
talking
shoe
about.
talk, baby.
You were talking about low drop shoes and zero drop shoes. So I was running with these Brooks shoes, which were good. And the Brooks shoes, I like Brooks. Brooks were not the shoes that injured me. It was the Nike Lunar Glides, which I had run with for a while. But
I could do a whole episode on just running shoes.
I think
honestly.
Nike shoes are bad, though.
Yeah, I'm done with
Get into
Nike
that
after
later.
this. But anyway, so then he was like, okay, go back on the treadmill and run either barefoot or with your socks on. I don't remember. But point is, it's different. You when you're running barefoot, you can't like just
You
like
can't
your
heel
listeners try it.
strike.
Just
Yeah.
pull over your car or
When
whatever.
you have shoes
get
with a
out
lot
of
of support,
work
they
and-
like correct your form.
Exactly.
Whereas
Like
when you're barefoot, you feel it.
right. So
Yeah.
when you're
They
barefoot,
don't correct your form, though. They incorrectly correct your
No, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's like the
Incorrectly adjust
shoes.
your form.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
adjust
they
your
adjust
form.
it. That's right.
not and like it works for some people, I guess, but the idea is that I'm able to like heel strike and overstride because there's no kind of pain.
because there's cushion. there.
Cushion,
Yeah.
right? But if you're running barefoot, you just can't do that. Like it's just
I've got
feels weird.
strong opinions on the barefoot running.
So
craze.
I was running barefoot on the treadmill, and he was like, "Yeah, your form is much better here. You can see you're not overstriding." And it's just like I can't explain it other than to try it yourself,
Yeah,
and you'll
clicks.
like realize it that there's an issue why if you have like a shoe with a lot of support, you can run a different way than you normally run. So that corrects a lot of or that is supposed to correct like a lot of the issues, and also like you're using totally different muscle groups as well when you're running with like a zero drop or a low drop
We
shoe.
talked about the calves. You know,
Exactly. So that one's like worse on your calves, I guess, or maybe your Achilles. I remember he said like you could get Achilles pain.
Right.
But to wrap this all up, this is where I'm at now. Is he gave me like this thing called the Return to Run program, and he said you could do it in 3 weeks, and I was like, Hayes, you have no idea what I've been through. Like I've been doing this. I've been injured for like almost a full year.
Yeah.
Like I do not think I can do 3 weeks. And he was like, I really think you can. And it made sense. Like, you know what? Maybe I can. So there was also an 8-week one, but the 8-week one was just like so insane. It was like, like, I mean, maybe it works, but the truth was like, I don't have really inflammation anymore. Like I probably could do this 3-week one. And the 8-week one was just like like day 1, walk 5 minutes, run 1 minute, walk 5 minutes, you're done. Day 2, walk 5 minutes, run 2 minutes, walk 5 minutes. But this 3-week one, it gradually makes you go to a 30-minute nonstop run.
I think the 8-week one would probably just be like very annoying.
It would just be like
that would just
too
frustrate
much,
me.
Yeah. So I'm planning on doing the 3-week one. I'm actually planning on getting shoes right after this, but I wanted to wait. Yes, today. I just wanted to wait and get your guys' opinions on, because I want to get this low drop or zero drop shoe. But the other thing he said is don't get a zero drop shoe right away because even though it might fix this problem, I could have
you need the sport.
I need
You're used to it.
I need to get used to it exactly. So
yeah. Well, I think that's the problem
where I'm at.
Well, I've got 2 things to say.
Okay.
One, I think that's the problem. The problem with the barefoot running is it's great for you. Obviously, if physical therapists are saying barefoot running is the way to go, or zero drop kind of running, then obviously it has good intentions.
Yeah.
But these people, like you said, go from wearing tanks on their feet to wearing nothing, basically.
Yeah, actually.
And it's
bad.
It's stupid because if you do that, no matter what, it's like saying if you went from wearing nothing on your feet to wearing tanks on your feet, it's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
I
So
just feel plenty.
that's like people. I feel like it has a stigma around it, barefoot
Right.
running,
Yeah.
whereas it shouldn't. It's just that people were stupid and rushed into it.
Right. So I
It made
feel
it
like
look
the
bad.
advice was really sound, and I really want to get to that now. But I also screwed up because I wanted to do this training program so that I could be done with the 3 weeks for this turkey trot coming up.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving race,
But I
yeah.
miscalculated. I thought Thanksgiving was a week later.
Oh no.
So by the time I was about to start, I was like, oh shoot, I'm already like a week and a half behind.
Oh no.
And then I just was like, well, I don't even have the shoes.
So you're not going to run the turkey trot?
I think I might still do the turkey
Are you gonna
trot
bike it?
because no.
No?
Because when I got injured, I do feel pretty okay. And when I got injured, it was over 3 miles. I really do think I could do 3 miles and survive and not get
Yeah.
crazy injured. But at the same time, how stupid would I be again?
Yeah. Don't
you
risk
know?
that.
Yeah.
Are you doing it, Chris?
I'm not sure.
I'm going to do it.
The other
yeah,
thing
but
is my dad's running this year for the first time,
That's nice.
and I want to run with him. But also he'll run really slow, which is fine. But that's probably worse for me
Because
to be
it'll take longer.
out on the course
Yeah, more
more.
time.
Yeah.
So I'm not decided if I'm gonna run. I probably won't. I
Let's
guess.
see what the
talking about
fans
it
have to
now.
say.
Yeah.
But
Email in with the subject line, "Run Andrew run," if you want him to run.
Or
But-
sit Andrew sit.
I mean, I've gone
Ice,
every year
Andrew,
for
ice.
so
Yeah.
long. I feel like I
Yeah.
got.
All right, hold on. Let's get back to the shoe talk, for God's sake.
What?
Were we talking about running shoes to give you some advice?
Oh yeah.
What do you think, Chris?
I mean, I am a brand loyalist in this case.
Not gonna wear Asics.
I've only ever
Oh,
had
really?
A6. I mean, I think you just got to find what you like. I think that's what it comes down to. I have, so I've probably bought, I'd say at this point, 25 pairs of running shoes throughout my career, maybe
Yeah.
more. I've strayed away from ASICs twice. The first time was Nikes. The only real injury I've had running was right after getting them. Then I got Sauconys, which I did like. I would recommend trying them. But I kind of just found they were good for a while, and then once I started, because this was when we were training for the marathon, once I got higher miles, it just was hurting. And those have a little bit less support than the ASICs.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of getting Saucony.
Because that was when I went in, and I was like, I like the ASICs, but I feel they've kind of started to feel heavy a little.
Mhm.
See,
But
I've always thought Asics were like tanks, as I
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, which I think is kind of how it was told to me, but I was like,
But it's not bad if it works for you. It worked
Exactly,
for me
yeah.
for so
I don't
long.
think that's
and then
right
I
though,
got
because
injured.
how do we know it's working for Chris right now? What if in a month he's got the same injury? You
but at the
know?
same time,
He's
I've
just done it
had
for a
these shoes
while.
forever, and they haven't
I'm just trying to help you.
led me
Chris.
astray yet. No, you're right, but
I just think it's hard
Chris
to
is
argue.
hugging his shoe. Right
yeah, I'm in a very
No, I
weird
don't wanna
position.
let it go. I think it's hard to argue against the proper mechanics of running.
Yeah.
You know, if Hayes says this is how you should be running,
Mhm.
then any way that's different from that has the potential to lead to injury.
That's true.
You
I'd
know?
say,
Well,
but you're right that you shouldn't I shouldn't go straight from these to those Vibram 5.
Well, I have
finger.
another thing. Oh,
Well,
no
the
one's
other thing is
wearing
that
those.
Chris might.
yeah,
you know,
he could be
might-
using the right mechanics with
exactly.
those shoes.
That's what I'm saying.
true.
He might not be overstriding.
I might not need.
Oh, and another
the support.
thing, yeah, I guess he could tell in my weak glutes that I did this thing where when I
Enough.
would run, my pelvis or whatever was it would shift from one side to another, and
Oh,
it was
really?
because I was compensating for
Yeah.
my weak glutes.
Yeesh.
I would use more of another muscle group or something. It was
Right.
interesting looking at it in slow motion, but yeah, you. Oh, and maybe I have a weak core as well or something. But if you have a strong core, you can be stable, central, right? When you're
Right.
running, you're
Keep
not
your pelvis going.
yeah, shifting back and forth. But
See, it's interesting
whatever.
to learn all that because we all obviously have. No one's perfect. with
Yeah,
their
I'm
running
sure I
form.
have plenty of problems. I have tons of problems.
One other thing I think maybe you should ask my man Hayes
Yeah.
if you ever talk to him or email him or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll email in. I need Hobby Pod. What about? I read this book, which maybe I'll let you borrow. I don't have it with me now. It's called Ready to Run,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about like shifting from wearing tanks on your feet or running with bad mechanics to running the right way.
Yeah.
And they suggest getting zero drop shoes or getting a better shoe, and instead of like getting a shoe that's less of a drop, running with that for a while, and then getting another one, just going straight to the zero drop, but run with that for like 5 minutes of a warm up, then run with your regular shoes, then run first 2 miles of a run with these shoes, then switch. So you're
Makes
progressing into a full run with the right shoes. So that's what I did when I started running kind of with like a lower drop shoe. But I
Okay.
also wasn't coming from an injury, so I don't know if maybe that's the wrong thing to do in that case.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that, like, I'm just afraid to go to zero drop because
Right.
then I would be like that's like almost barefoot running, right?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah,
But it's not barefoot.
right. Like obviously
you have a shoe.
you have stability.
Your
or
protection
whatever,
from
right?
like rocks. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Right.
And
There's
from
not just like
shame.
it's not just on the top or something.
Yeah.
They're just shoelaces.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. That does do the you walk around barefoot, so your feet could obviously handle
Right.
being barefoot. It just progresses you.
That's
it's
another
just a
thing.
different way to progress.
I
don't
like
know which
stopped
way's better or
wearing.
worse,
Well, I don't know. I actually stopped wearing my running shoes. I wear like these like skate shoes basically.
which are zero drop.
Yeah, I guess
when
so.
you're exercising, or just
No,
around?
when I'm walking, like
When
when I
I'm
don't
at-
exercise
At the
yeah.
local, skate park,
Yeah.
grinding.
when I'm
or
doing
whatnot.
But, like, I
an
did that.
ollie.
No, I actually started doing that because it felt better on my knee, like regularly. Like during the
Mhm.
day, I would have knee pain or something, or not like real knee pain, but just like discomfort.
Right.
And then I would start wearing those shoes, and it was like, oh, this feels fine,
And it's
which
like
was
the
very
same
weird.
premise.
Right.
So
So maybe
the
I could
other
go
thing I wanted to say is you go to these running shoe stores, which you're going to go to later.
there. Yeah.
And they watch you run, but they're watching. They give you these shoes that it's just like grasping the IT band. It's like shoes that correct your
You're like, these feel good.
poor running
Yeah.
form.
Yeah.
But if you have muscular issues like weak glutes or whatever that are ruining your running form,
Yeah. Yeah.
shoes aren't going to strengthen your glutes.
Mm.
It's
you know?
actually crazy how
They
much I
should be
learned
saying,
from like
like-
this rehab process, which sucks, but like at the same time, like this was certainly building for a while.
Right.
I think.
But don't you think the running shoe companies shouldn't? They're like putting band-aids on it
I think
on
that,
the weak IT band.
but I think
They
that
should be saying you should try to correct this. You know?
I think that a lot of the running shoes place, like, I think you really, like, if you're into running, you need to go to like a specialty running shop because they know more than
Right, but I just
your
don't.
average like Joe's.
You could still get injured if weak
I
glutes
think
are an
that-
issue.
but
A
I
shoe's
think-
not going to solve that.
I think that those places, there are people there who will like understand that,
Yeah.
have that conversation as opposed to like if you go to Walmart
And-
and buy some shoes.
By the end of my physical therapy, my glutes were actually a lot stronger, which was really cool.
Oh right, you know what? Has this been just a platform for you to discuss your glutes and Bitcoin related topics?
It seems that way, I guess. But that was really rewarding, I guess, at the end, like doing the same kind of. I don't know. It's like there's like a thing called the Air X pad. Have you heard of
Yeah.
it? Yeah,
It's just like a foam pad.
yeah,
right?
basically just like a foam pad, and we just did like little like step ups on that with one foot, and it was like shockingly hard for me at first because I just had no balance.
Right.
But it was better by the end.
So
Yeah.
now don't you think that you're going to go to this shoe store
Mhm.
and I would they're not going to tell you to buy a zero drop shoe, you know?
But do you think I should do it?
I think you should because a physical therapist knows more than a shoe salesman.
No, but he said low drop shoe though.
But that's what I mean. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. I don't think they're going to say
I'm definitely gonna get that.
I
yeah.
think they would watch you run and say, "Ooh, you pronate, you should have this tank on your feet."
Mm.
that's probably true. Yeah.
But in reality, the physical therapist knows what you're doing wrong, and you should address those things first. What I'm saying is,
yeah, I'm
people
not.
need
I'm
to
not just
stop-
gonna like go against. Like I'll be like, oh wow, my physical therapist was wrong.
I
I'm
think
going.
the
These
shoe,
feel
I think
great.
the shoe people are wrong. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Like I don't think they should be doing
Give
that.
it a shot. I'd say especially because you haven't before. Like,
All right. So what do you think? Low drop or zero drop?
Low drop.
I think if your PT said low drop, then do that.
It's
Okay.
the haze.
I'm gonna do that.
But make your way, or see how that is. You know,
Maybe I won't even buy it today because that's the other thing. Usually when I go to this place, I get like I'm like, all right, I'm getting shoes, But
Mhm.
what if I just try them on and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll just buy them online or something. Like,
Nah,
that's a life hack.
I'd say that's a little messed up. If you're,
Oh really?
well, I don't know.
dude, you know what's messed up? I've been injured for over a year.
No, but
I
I'm
don't care.
just saying if you go to a shoe guy, ask you advice, and then order it on your phone, I don't know.
I guess Chris is kind of right.
I'm not just gonna do it there.
But don't order online without trying them on because you're injured. You've been injured for a year.
Right.
Yeah, which I'm saying. I don't know. I think might pay a little more there, but
Dude,
it's
I
worth
owe
it
them
for the
nothing.
service.
I owe them nothing.
I don't know.
There
man.
should
I'm just
be-
worried about.
I think
you.
if I was to run a running shoe store, I'd say, I don't know. Maybe I'd have the shoes cheaper, but say like a $5 fee for us to check out your feet.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I don't want people like
No.
Andrew coming into my shop, wasting a half hour, and then being like, all right,
Yeah,
Amazon
that's
it
true.
is.
Yeah, that's true. But
No,
Andrew's
definitely fine.
I think most people go in and buy shoes.
Most people
there.
buy. I've bought
Yeah.
10 times now. If I decide not to buy because I'm afraid
And
I'll
you've
get
gotten
injured, then
injured
that's
from
fine.
those shoes.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
The running shoe
No,
people
yeah.
are phonies.
That's true.
Maybe that's a hot take.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Wow, this one's going long.
Yeah.
All right.
We could just wrap it up probably.
Wait. So let's talk about the future of our running real quick.
Okay.
Which way?
What do we have in plan? We talked about a triathlon, possible triathlon,
Possible.
which is branching out of running. Sport.
I'm like pretty set on this. Assuming I can run still, but like maybe in June or May, like if we were to do a triathlon, and like my other college friends were thinking of doing it as well. So if you guys are not interested, I probably wouldn't do it alone.
Yeah.
I'd rather just run a regular race. But it seems like a cool kind of like what you were saying, where you didn't get the thrill after your second marathon. But this will be our first triathlon, and that's cool. Maybe we'll get that.
Maybe it's me. I don't know. Like I don't see that being in a. I don't know.
You don't think the triathlon will be fun?
No, I think it would be fun, but you know what it is? I'm just chasing that feeling of like that marathon feeling, and I don't think I'll ever experience it again, which is sad.
The first marathon?
Maybe like if I do an Ironman, I don't know,
Don't do that.
but that's what I mean. Like, I don't think finishing a triathlon is gonna give me that feeling of like, wow, I can't believe I did this. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Whereas
fair
finishing
enough.
a marathon gives you that.
Yeah, so I'd say I don't really have
But
a marathon plan.
That's just me. I think it's a great accomplishment for everyone
Yeah.
else, obviously.
Except for me.
Except if Chris does it. Yikes.
I don't have a marathon plan like in the immediate future or a half marathon really.
Or
I guess
you're just getting back into running.
I guess I want to I will do that
That's the
return to
goal,
run
yeah.
thing as soon as I get these shoes. I don't know if I want to run the turkey trot or not. I guess like I did before, but maybe I don't now. But at the same time, like we could, listeners could come to the turkey trot. That'd be kind of cool.
I
Because
don't
you'll be
know.
there, right, Chris?
I would
I'll
say
be there.
don't do the turkey trot
Yeah.
because if you look back in a year and you're very healthy,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to regret not doing the turkey trot. Whereas if you look back in a year and you're still injured and you ran the turkey trot, you're going to
Yeah.
be like,
Why did I do that turkey trot?
yeah. I'm
Even just
stupid.
maybe you could come, just hang out.
I think I will come because I want.
I
want my dad to do
I
well,
think the
so.
turkey trots are fun. It's a lot of see all the
All right.
high school people.
So
Yeah.
that's your plan?
But
right now,
I
guys?
think if I'm afraid that
we
if
gotta
I
get
go,
this podcast moving.
I'm just all right. I'm just afraid that if I go, then I'll be like,
I'll
we got
do it.
these new
Yeah,
shoes.
that's
Maybe I'll just go for it. I don't know.
3 miles not that bad.
I'll
yeah.
think about it. We'll think about it. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll say
Okay.
that.
Chris?
So I'd say I'm gonna make a decision in a little while, probably.
Wow, this is
Probably
so long. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
jeez. We talked about this all day.
Yeah.
Probably like Feb, March ish.
Feb, March-ish.
If I'm gonna do a marathon this spring or fall,
Okay.
the spring being probably late May. Got my eyes. There's a race in Vermont. Andrew ran before.
Yes.
Thinking about doing that
Oh,
one.
I
City.
would consider that.
There's
Yeah, it's end of May.
if
I'll try to
not
beat
that,
Andrew's time.
I'm thinking October, November. But you're right. I think the way I want to think about it though is less as like I don't want to have any time in mind. I just want to be like I'm gonna run this one, see how it goes, have fun with it.
He's like contradicting everything I said.
I am because I think maybe I'll have some goals. Like it's gonna
Yeah, you
be.
gotta have
But
the
the
tier
A goals
goals.
or the first goals to finish, second goals
To die.
to PR
To be alive.
to die. But I definitely don't want to do anything. Go after anything too ambitious.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know, but who knows? Maybe it'll turn out.
And all right. And maybe what about a half or anything?
I think like, and I think it's I want to get to the point where if it's March or April, I'm in pretty good shape. If someone's like, hey, I'm running this race next week, I'll just do it for
The best.
for the fun. And like, if I'm in good enough shape, I'll
Oh
do
yeah.
pretty
The
well.
other thing is that like, despite not running, I actually have felt like I'm in like pretty good shape, which is weird because I played like soccer
Yeah.
this fall, and last fall my IT band started hurting like when I would play soccer. This fall it was totally fine.
Nice.
Mhm.
So that's like another thing that's like, okay, maybe I'm on the right track. But like that was actually weird is that I've been pretty active, I guess. But before, like in high school, when we would not run for like a week, you'd feel like
Yeah,
terrible,
exactly.
Yeah.
And now maybe it's because like my ceiling hasn't been as high as like
Mhm.
that time or when I was in peak marathon shape. But
Right.
it is kind of interesting how I really haven't run in like a year, but
Mhm.
I still feel like
Yeah, because you can do other
decent
things.
shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe exercise is a myth. You know?
Yeah, so I'd say a marathon in the future. Another thing I want to bring up quickly is I volunteered at a half marathon this weekend.
Yeah.
Don't want to go over too long. Handed out water, ton of fun, and I think it revamped my running appreciation.
All
It's
right.
like, this is great. Like
Maybe that's
that
what
was a
I
ton of
need.
fun.
I loved watching. I was at mile 1.8 or something, so it was pretty quick.
Yeah.
It wasn't for too long, but
Right.
just seeing the first people and seeing the whole race go by, and every different type of person is running it, and
That is good. Like
it was great.
it's fun cheering on like a race.
And that's
you
where
know?
I made just the people who are at the water table all very nice people.
One
I
time,
would definitely recommend
one time
it.
I was volunteering for a marathon with Todd, and he had the Gatorade out, that thing.
Yeah.
And then he right when someone was about to get it, he threw it over his head. And I'm
Wait,
like,
that's
oh,
messed up.
It might have been the same
Psych.
race. It might have been the same race. I was volunteering with Todd,
uh-huh.
and we were at an aid station late in the race. It was like mile maybe 21 or 22. He's handing out Vaseline. It's icy hot. The dude was handing out icy hot, pretending it was Vass.
You
Are you
know-
out of your mind?
My race, or same race, surprisingly, Todd's a quick guy. At the finish line, I'm holding up one end of the tape. He's holding up the other. The finish
For the
line.
winner.
He drops it.
Oh,
He says, didn't want it to hit him. Thought he'd be too tired to break it. Thought he was being nice.
That's ridiculous.
Then he texts me. He says, "No shame in that, Alex." It was Todd. Okay, I'll admit it.
All right.
All right, my future of running. I'll talk about it real quick because we're almost done. We got to get to the plugs. My brother asked me if I wanted to do a marathon in March. I don't think
March?
I'm mentally ready for it.
Holy cow.
First of all, I would have to start training,
Now.
2 weeks
Yesterday.
ago. But
Where is that race?
Well, he just mentioned doing one.
Okay.
He didn't really ask me. He just
Okay.
brought it up, and it makes me want to do it again.
Gotcha.
I feel like I'm at this crossroads where I don't want to run ever again because I'm like mentally destroyed from this
Mhm.
race. But at the same time, like I feel like I'm in pretty good running shape after this race.
You don't want to lose.
I want to carry it over into
Yeah.
another marathon
Pick up
because
steam.
I have this lifetime goal of qualifying for Boston.
Yeah.
But if I wait too long and just run a race in late 2018, I'm going to qualify for Boston then and then have to wait a year to run. It's like I don't know what to do.
I wouldn't
Do you know what
be
I mean?
like you
And at the
shouldn't
same
you
time,
can't
like-
be like complaining about like when you qualify for Boston. Like to me that's such an
I'm not
ultimate
complaining.
life goal.
I don't
that,
mean
like,
to complain, but I feel like it's
It shouldn't
taking
matter
so
when you
much time
qualify.
out of my life. Like
yeah, then you have to like decide if it's worth it, I guess.
I know that's
Yeah,
where I'm at.
that's
That's what
it,
I'm
yeah.
struggling with.
Is it worth it? Let me work it.
Yeah.
I put that
okay.
thing down, flip it in reverse.
I'm having a serious crisis right now.
All episode.
Chris is trying to talk about a song about Andrew's weak glutes or something. So I don't know. I'll run another marathon. I don't know
day.
when or where. I'll do more endurance events during 2018. I'm sure half marathons. I'm sure I'll do.
Mhm.
Hopefully a triathlon. Maybe I was thinking about like a Spartan race.
That'd be fun. Be great.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Please
All right.
help.
I guess we'll
Email
see.
us. Yeah, that's it then.
Cool.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, before the plugs, I guess this is part of the plugs, but got a text message from former guest host of the show, Matt, not my brother, other Matt,
Yep.
movie Matt, and he said, "I Need a Hobby inspired me to do my first turkey trot in 10 years."
Oh,
Wow.
That's cool. I
That's
was
awesome.
just, if anyone is
That's
doing
awesome.
a turkey trot tomorrow, if you listen to this, kind of funny because if you've listened to this episode before Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm.
like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that this only applies if you listen to it within like the first 24 hours of release. You
Yeah,
know,
wow.
you had to spend
True
1/24th of your day listening to this to get to this point.
Over that at
And
this point.
early
Way
enough
over.
to make to be like, oh, I have enough time to change my plans around this morning.
Yeah, right. So if you're running a turkey trot because of our podcast or just because you want to get out there and go for it,
Send us your
that's
trot pics.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
send
see
us a snap. I don't know.
Email,
Just thought
email
that'd
us.
be cool.
Email us. Subject line could be like,
You got
Sure.
this.
subject line could be like, gobble gobble turkey waddle wobble gobble gobble
Waddle.
turkey waddle.
Waddle.
Did we get a theme song for What's on Your Mind? Can we just play that?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we have time to do what's on your mind, do we?
Nah.
Well,
I
play the
think-
theme
well,
song.
we think
we
have
got
time
a
for
theme
the
song.
We got a
time
song.
for the
We'll Should we play it now?
Yeah.
All right. You know what?
I
Here's a
guess.
theme song. It came from us a while ago. It looks like. But you know what? If you're listening to this during the turkey trot, maybe it'll be a little motivation for you.
Mhm.
Looks like it's from.
Who's it from?
What does it say? Oh, wait. I don't know if I recognize. It's come Bruce S. It says.
Bruce S.
Huh.
All right.
Chance like us, baby, we were born to run. Come on with me. Chance like us, baby, we were born to run.
Okay. Wow, that was great. Sorry about it got extra loud at the end. We were cranking it up here because we had
studio.
not heard that song in so long.
Bruce
Yeah,
S. I
geez.
forgot about old Bruce
Yeah,
S.
it's
He
great.
sends
You
in
know,
a few other themes.
I mean, I think we scared him off. We were really angry at him for a bit, and
but hey, this one was pretty good.
yeah.
Bruce S. You know what? He gave me a sense of achievement.
Yeah. No
You're
shame,
back.
no shame in that theme song.
All right.
All right. Well, here's what's on my mind. Chris, hit us with those plugs, my man. We got to end this episode.
Jeez, I gotta go for a run. I think I am gonna go for a
Yeah,
run.
I am
today.
motivated
Nice.
to run again now after
Yeah.
after this episode. It's pumping me up.
So if you like running, if you like our episodes, if you like I Need a Hobby, IneedAHobbyPod.com, one-stop shop. You can find our Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, I Need a Hobby Pod, all of our episodes. You can shop with us on Amazon, IneedAHobbyPod.com/Amazon.
Nice.
Hook us up a little bit and help me buy some new running shoes. Help Andrew buy some running shoes.
Yeah. If you buy enough on Amazon, my injury will get better.
And you know what? If you've got a race bib for your turkey trot and you don't know where to pin it onto, buy an I Need a Hobby Pod shirt on our
Ooh.
shop tab. All right?
If you run a turkey trot race with a T-shirt has sent us an email title, gobble gobble, I need a hobble.
After that race, I need a hobble.
All
All right. See you next week.